holy and beloved. Holy means separate. Bowels of mercies, kindness, humbleness of mind, meekness, long suffering. Long suffering. Your definition of love doesn't say anything. It's not what they're portraying, what they're projecting has nothing to do with, at least in the way I see it, it has nothing to do with any kind of suffering. See, the elect are going to suffer. We're going to suffer for the testimony and the true doctrine of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. Because it's going to be, the true doctrine is adverse to Babylon the Great, which is America. Adverse to the to what Babylon the Great pushes out, their whole madness that they spew out, homosexuality, breaking of all the commandments, just wickedness, this is Colossians 3:13, forbearing one another and forgiving one another, still speaking of the elect, if any man have a quarrel against any, even as Mashiach forgave you, so also do ye. All right? So the Lord, Yahweh Shai, it says Christ here, but we know his name is Yahweh Shai. He died for the elect's sake. Okay? And so we're supposed to forgive our brothers of the elect. Lord willing, we be of that number. As he forgave us. We're supposed to be in fact we're supposed to walk in the way of Yahweh Shai. And then finally, verse 14, and above all these things put on charity, which is the bond of perfectness. And that charity is toward the elect. That whole context, you're talking about the elect. You're not just talking about any and everybody. And this is what Christianity does, man. They try to push this universal doctrine of love, and brothers like to say cotton candy and lollipops, and affection for anything and everything, no standard. You see, and let's go ahead and we'll probably have to do part 2 of this, but for the sake of time, let's just go ahead and get what that elect who that elect is. This is Romans 11:4. But what saith the answer of the Most High unto him? I have reserved to myself 7,000 men who have not bowed the knee to the image of Baal. And Baal is an idol. Basically, this is speaking of the elect that did not bow their knee or bow down, and which is one of the commandments. Don't bow to idols. The Lord has reserved a remnant, an elect remnant of what? Of Israel. The nation of Israel. Not of just any old body in the world. The nation of Israel. The Lord chose one nation out of the seed line of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the Israelites, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and those that come out of that seed line by way of their fathers. And in particular, he chose a remnant that we're reading on right here. Verse 5, Romans 11 and 5. Even so, then at this present time also there is a remnant according to the election of grace. Okay, so right now we're under grace. We can't, it's understood that we're not going to be able to walk this walk perfectly, and we're not saved by the law. So there's a grace period that the Lord has set up before he writes the law within our hearts. And that's pursuant to, hold on one second. Give me a quick second. That's Hebrews 10 and 16. This is the covenant that I will make with them after those days, saith the Lord. I will put my laws in their hearts, and in their minds will I write them. So this is the covenant that we're marching toward. With marching toward, that's going to be present in the kingdom. The Lord's going to write his laws, his statutes, commandments in our hearts, meaning our minds. We won't go off. All right. This is Romans 11 and 6. And if by grace, then is it no more of works? Otherwise, grace is no more grace. But if it be of works, then is it no more grace? Otherwise, work is no more work. Verse 7. What then? Israel hath not obtained. It says Israel, okay? Speaking of the remnant. Verse 7. What then? Israel hath not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election hath obtained it, and the rest were blinded. So what are we seeking for? What is Israel seeking for? The truth. The true doctrine of the Holy Scriptures. So 2/3 of our people haven't received it. They haven't obtained the true doctrine. But the election is going to receive this true doctrine. And as just a quick side, the men of Great Millstone have the 100% truth, the true doctrine. Apostles on down. So again, Romans 11 and 7, what then? Israel hath obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election hath obtained it, and the rest were blinded. Okay? The rest of them were blinded. So only the election are going to get the true doctrine that's pushed forth by way of the men of Great Millstone and those men that follow Great Millstone. And so I'm gonna finish out with some real quick scriptures on love. Let's see here, real quick. Slovakia. All right, this is Amos. This is Amos 5:15. Hate the evil and love the good, and establish judgment in the gate. See? So the Lord is a just balance. The scriptures speak on how the Lord is a just balance. He hates the evil and he loves the good. So there's a place for hate, man. It's a righteous hate. When you hate evil, that's a righteous hate. And who's evil and wicked in this world today? Esau, Edom, the so-called white man and his wicked kingdom that he set up. You know, starting with America, Babylon the Great. That whore that rides the beast's back. All right? Amos 5:15. Hate the evil and love the good, and establish judgment in the gate. And that's what the prophets are doing right now out there on the highways and hedges. Establishing judgment, raising, blowing the horn. It may be that the Lord of hosts will be gracious unto the remnant of Joseph. Okay? Speaking of the Israelites. Let us hear the conclusion of this is Ecclesiastes 12:13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear the Most High and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. Right? Let's go to 1 John 5:3. For this is the love of the Most High, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous. You know, that video wasn't speaking anything about keeping the commandments. It was just vague. 2 John 1:6. And this is love, that we walk after his commandments. This is the commandment, that as ye have heard from the beginning, ye should walk in it. All right? And finally, let's go Romans 13:8. Owe no man anything but to love one another. For he that loveth another hath fulfilled the law. Right? Verse 9. For this, thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not Salakia real quick. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness, Salakia. Thou shalt not covet. And if there be any other commandment, it is briefly comprehended in this saying, namely, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. So it's speaking of the commandments are love, man. Love is the fulfillment of the commandments. So Lord willing, this was edifying. I want to give all glory, honor, and praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakodash. And I'll say this one last thing. It's the fulfillment of the commandments to the best of your ability. Fulfillment, following the law to the best of your ability. So, Shalom.